Guys, I am really excited to bring you this video today because this is one of these products that if you don't know about it, if you don't know that it already exists, it is going to absolutely blow your mind. I know it did mine when I found out about it. I call this one the last bolt action because it's the last one you'll ever need. I call it that for one absolutely amazing feature that is offered by the Terminus Zeus action. The ability to easily change caliber at the user level in about a minute. If that ability to easily change caliber was the only thing that made this action special, that would probably be enough. But Terminus didn't stop there. They added some other key features that make this one of the best actions available on the market today. We'll get to how all that works in a minute, and I teamed that phenomenal Terminus Zeus action with the MDT ACC Elite chassis, which is one of the most well thought out and feature-packed chassis available to complete what I am calling the last bolt action build. Just think of all the possibilities. For a guy like me, you can try out new calibers that pique your interest without the huge investment of buying an entire new gun and only a barrel, which is significantly cheaper than a whole gun, especially when you add on a scope and other accessories. So that's a good angle to convince your wife or girlfriend, see honey, this gun will actually save us money. Beyond that, say you want to plink at the range with one caliber and hunt with another. No problem accomplished with the same gun, just swap barrels. Or say when you get to the range you want to shoot 6.5 Creedmoor or any other typically more costly round, and when you burn through your supply of that but you still want more range time, if you have a 223 barrel for instance, you can just swap that one out for some more iconic plinking. The process is remarkably easy, and for any YouTube reviewer that is potentially watching this, this is a feature of this bolt action and we are not disassembling a gun. This would also be helpful for cleaning. It is also very important to know how to do this correctly to not lead to any potential safety issues. Like I was saying, very easy. First, open the bolt and check to make sure the gun is unloaded. Then just loosen these two set screws on either side of the action, then twist off the barrel. Grab the desired caliber barrel you want and screw that one in. It is a good idea to make a good solid hard twist at the end. Then tighten the two set screws. That's it, you've just changed calibers. There are some limitations. With the Zeus action I am limited to short action rounds and down, so I can do everything with a 308 as a parent cartridge down to a 5.56 and 300 blackout. Switching over to micro actions will require a bolt swap and magazine swap. Literally just take the bolt out of the gun as you would do for cleaning and insert a bolt with the correct size face. Basically, these two bolts would cover almost all rounds. 308 covers 6.5 Creedmoor, 22 Creedmoor, 270 Winchester, and of course 308. I have a second bolt face that covers 223 and 300 blackout because 223 bolt actions just make such great trainers and are so much fun to shoot. If you don't have a 223 bolt gun, you probably need one. Now there is a third bolt size that would cover rounds like 7.62x39, 6 arc, and 22 arc. For most people, that bolt would be somewhat of an oddity, but I, of course, need to pick one up. Really, the only thing you can't do with this setup is magnums, so no 300 Win Mag, no 300 PRC, nothing long action. However, Terminus does make this exact same receiver with quick change capabilities in long action that would accommodate those calibers. I started off with barrels in 6.5 Creedmoor and 223. For me, those are the two most common rounds that I shoot, so I wanted to make sure that they were covered. I kept hearing this buzz about a round called 6GT and was intrigued, so all I had to do was contact a reputable barrel manufacturer, in this case Kinport Peak Rifles, answer a few questions about what barrel profile I liked, and in this case, this was strictly a range gun, so I like an extremely heavy barrel as I don't imagine moving around with it much, and the weight helps soak up all the recoil. A couple weeks later, barrel shows up at my front door and I'm ready to shoot 6GT. As you may expect, when having custom barrels made, the accuracy is astonishing. You can even have them made to the exact projectile you shoot if you want. Needless to say, we got some phenomenal groups out of this setup. I'm going to speed this up a little bit just to save you time, and I also want to apologize about the camera work on the target. I have no idea what was going on there. So that ended up being a .63 MOA group. Not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. We actually probably did shoot some tighter groups, of course, when we weren't filming, but that's a good idea of what the rifle is capable of, and in the right hands, I'm sure it can do even better than that. With this setup, I was also able to achieve my longest shot ever with .223. I was able to stretch it out to an impressive 1,200 yards. I know that some people have shot it further, but I was terribly impressed that I was able to accomplish 1,200 yards and do it with some repeatability. Now these are kind of hard to see because it is .223 at 1,200 yards, but if you listen to the spotters, they'll kind of tell you where they're going, and the third one is pretty easy to see.
That was a hit. That was a hit. I did barely heard that one.
Well, it's 5.56.
We're gonna need an extended microphone down there for you.
That was definitely a hit.
Got it.
That was a hit.
That was it. Yeah, baby. That was left edge, wasn't it? Do what? Left edge about 9 o'clock? Yeah, about 8. Yeah. That's a hit. That's a hit just below center. Yep.
And just so everyone knows, this is a 22-inch .223 barrel, so I'm getting a slight advantage in velocity, as I know most .223 bolt actions have a 20-inch barrel. Either way, I'm in love with the way that this thing shoots. As if the ability to easily swap barrels and calibers wasn't enough, there are some other great features on the Terminus Zeus action that set it apart from the rest of the pack. The Terminus Zeus also features a 60-degree bolt throw. This is far less than the typical 90-degree throws of most Remington 700-based receivers. A shorter throw allows you to more quickly work the action and, in theory, allow for quicker follow-up shots. I'll also say that this throw is very light and smooth, unlike some other companies with shortened bolt throws that I've experienced. Terminus also has threaded trigger pins. For those that don't know, trigger pins in Remington 700s are tapped in. I've also seen them so loose to the point that they can just fall out and go to the never realm, much like detent pins on an AR-15. Drop them and they're just gone. Clearly they should be right where you drop them, but they're gone off to another dimension. Well, Terminus has developed a way to limit this interdimensional travel: threads. Having the trigger pins threaded makes them more secure, much harder to lose, and should also hold your trigger in place more securely. This is a phenomenal receiver. The fact that you can change calibers is amazing, and when you add that to other top-notch features like the shortened bolt throw and the threaded trigger pins, it easily makes this one of the best receivers available today. We have been testing this receiver for a long time, over a year, because I really wanted to make sure it was good to go and could handle having the barrels changed over and over again. And now that we've been running this as long as we have, I can confidently say that the Terminus quick change system is rock solid and it will last the test of time. For those that want to know, the return to zero is very good going back to the same caliber, less than 1 MOA. Furthermore, at least with the calibers that I own, the zero between them is only about 1.5 inches. So while you will have to fine-tune your zero between the calibers, it's not as significant as you may imagine. This receiver is awesome and the ability to change calibers is amazing. Well, we got kind of long on this one, so I'll have a part 2 of the last bolt action build where I'll go over the MDT ACSS Elite chassis, which is also extremely impressive, and I'll go over some of the accessories I have along with the trigger I used. So be sure to stay tuned for that, but for now, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because as always, we have some really big reviews in the works that you won't want to miss. If you want to know what those reviews are way before they hit the YouTube channel, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where you can see what's being reviewed in real time. And by the way, check the links in the description. There you can find some cool stuff that I found and the best deals on it. If you want to help support Alabama Arsenal, the absolute best way to do that is through Patreon. These videos can be surprisingly expensive to make, and every little bit helps and is greatly appreciated. There's also Alabama Arsenal gear available right below the video if you want to go out and represent. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.